What's up, everybody? I'm Greg Miller, and this is IGN Insights, where each and every episode we tackle a hot-button gaming issue with a special guest. Now, DC Universe Online came out more than 2 years ago, but obsessive players like me can't get enough of the superhero MMO. This week saw the release of the 7th DLC pack, Origin Crisis, and here to tell us if it's worth your time is DCUO expert Brian, better known as the Daddy's House on YouTube, and Super Patriot in-game. Brian, thank you so much for joining us.
Hey, it's great to be here. Appreciate the opportunity.
Now, Brian, you've put in countless hours, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours in DC Universe Online. Tell me right now, right up front, Origin Crisis, is it worth everybody's time to jump back in and play and download?
Absolutely, absolutely. Not only have they brought in like new content brand new content for us to deal with, with our interests and stories and everything, but it's also like more increased difficulty content. It's not something you can just like jump into and beat day one.
Now that doesn't sound good at all, bro. It's harder. How hard is it? Why is it so much harder?
It's just they just up the difficulty, especially on the raids themselves. The raids themselves are extremely difficult. Even some of us in my own league, who are some of the we've completely geared out and everything, have like full R&D mods on our gear and everything. We went in there like day one, tried to beat it, wasn't happening. Just wasn't happening.
So is it that you need the new Tier 5 armor to do it?
Basically, yeah. I think that's basically the way they've set it up. Even some of the best leagues that I know of that play this game, not just on the PS3 but on the PC as well. Even during tests, they had to give them access to that Tier 5 gear in order for them to get some of it to go in there and actually beat that content. Those Tier 5 raids. So, is this something you've been looking for? You and I have played DC Universe Online together for quite some time. You play it way more than I do. You're like all over the bend crazy for it. But did you feel with other packs that you weren't getting the reward out of it being more difficult? Because you are somebody who has all the tiered armor, so is it always just too easy? For some people, yeah. A lot of people felt that way. I don't know. It was like, when FOS 2 first came out, the whole that raid there, when that first came out, that was like an immense challenge for a lot of people, even for everybody that had all the gear to run that at the time. And we've gotten that again with both of the raid content in this game. And a lot of people, that's been one of the complaints so far with DCO since then, is like a lot of the content doesn't have that difficulty, hasn't had that challenge factor to it.
So now, what about the new quantum powers? I know they've been added to it. On top of there's the raid content, but now there's a whole new power set. What do you think of quantum powers?
The quantum powers are definitely fun. I've been able to play with them a little bit, and I've seen other players using them and everything. They are a lot of fun. It's definitely adding some new aspects to the game as far as for controlling and for DPSing, and it's basically it's always fun to get a hold of a new toy. In the game, in any game, and run with it. Just like if they introduce a new weapon into a game, that's basically what they've done with the quantum powers. It's just adds something new to the game and everything, along with the new power interaction too on top of it.
Now, are you able to keep up with the story? A big part of Origins Crisis, right, is that it actually takes place before 2 of the previous DLCs and in the middle of this other one, and there's all these different timelines, and now there's different Batmans and different. Do you have any idea what the hell's happening in the story?
Well, basically, what happened was they've actually been laying this out for a while now with the storyline. If you remember when Lightning Strikes DLC first came out, and we went in there and did that duo with Flash there, Abracadabra's in there talking about how he was hired to prevent the origin of Flash from becoming a hero and everything. But he never explained who his boss was and all that. Now with the Origin Crisis, we get a good hint that maybe his boss was this future Lex Luthor who was trying to change all the origins of these heroes and everything. And they show especially with the operations, they show a couple of alternate Earths where you go to an alternate Gotham and you run into a Batman who is actually evil now, and Bruce Wayne is running Wayne Corps instead of Wayne Tech and stuff like that. Yeah.
So, Brian, I guess, how many hours do you think you've put in, ballpark, for DC Universe Online?
A day or a week?
No, in lifetime. How many hours do you think you put in?
Lifetime? Oh man, I've been playing the game since beta. On the PS3, like November of 2010.
Yeah.
And played it pretty much every single day since launch. Oh man, I'd probably put in at least 4 hours a day on average.
Okay. So then my question for you is, what keeps you coming back? I think it was one of those things when DC Universe Online launched, it had a huge, it blew up here on IGN. People loved it. A lot of people were playing it, but then people fell off, and myself included. But you stuck it out and you continue to be so invested. And you run, DCUO Source podcast. What makes you want to keep coming back to it?
Honestly, it's the people that I've met in the game and the people I've played the game with. I mean, we've like you said, DCO's had some rough spots. Initially at launch there, with the update 3 issues they had, and then of course the PSN hack on the PS3 that we had. But kept keeping in contact with those guys through other games and other outside forum sources and everything like that. Keeping in touch with those players that I've met in the game, some of which I still play with to this day. That's been the main thing that's kept drawing me back. Kept me into this game is playing with the friends that I've made on there. That alongside the very fast-paced PvP action that takes place in it.
Were you into other MMOs before this, or is this just the one that got you?
No, this is my first MMO.
Okay. So, all right, so Brian, you've never played another MMO. I mean, have you ever wanted to? Have you wanted to branch out and try Guild Wars, or when WildStar comes out, get into that? Or are you just so into comic books and superheroes and this community, it keeps you around?
I had some interest in Guild Wars and all that, and also Elder Scrolls is coming out soon. I've got a couple of friends that are trying to push for me to get into that as well. But honestly, with as much time that I've invested in DCUO, and as much they keep adding stuff in there, so there's more to do. It's like constantly chasing after this feat and that feat, trying to get those done and everything. I don't know if I really have the time for another MMO.
You got to be dedicated. You got to choose one and stick with it.
Yeah.
I get it. Well, Brian, thank you so much. It's always a pleasure. I look forward to you carrying me to that sick Tier 5 armor here soon. I'll be back online for you.
We're looking forward to it because we've been dying to make some more Taylor Swift Beyonce jokes.
That's right. Everybody, I play as Taylor Swift in DC Universe Online. She's been with me so many years, I can't stop him. Now, if you at home are an expert and think you'd be a good fit for the gamer conversation that is IGN Insights, hit me up on Twitter with a link and you could be in the next episode. Now, if you have a developer or a personality I should be talking to in the industry, send them my way on Twitter too. Until then, be on.